Well, thank you all for being here, and welcome to the 2019 State of the City for the City of Centerville. I'm Brooks Compton, Mayor of the City of Centerville, and as we know, 2018 was a gold and cheerful Centerville year as the city celebrated its 50th anniversary of becoming a city. Thanks to you, Maureen, the 50th committee, and the thousands who participated all year for making 2018 an outstanding year of celebration. And I just wanted to go through a couple things that happened during the course of the year for the 50th anniversary celebration. That was the proclamation that came down from the Secretary of State in 1968 directing the city to become a city. That was signed by Ted Brown, a very famous name in Ohio politics. Julie, with the 50th anniversary t-shirt, which we've had a couple gold out nights throughout the year. A couple of the guys from Public Works, you'll see the 50th signs all over all the Centerville signs, and they're going to remain there. I love this picture. This is the finance office celebrating the 50th. And this was at Fall Fest. Guys from Public Works, intern Dan, Mary Lou, and Maureen. And we had greetings from several of the State House, State Senate, and also from the President of the United States. So it was an exciting year. We were really pleased we got the letter from the President of the United States on the exact day, if I'm correct. Is that right, Karen? I think it was the exact day. And just I wanted to show this picture. Maureen put this together, but we've had, over the course, we've had 7 mayors, and back in 1994, there were 5 mayors in this one picture. On the left, Mark Kingseed. I'm sitting next to Mark. J.V. Stone, who preceded Shirley, who's sitting next to, J.V. sitting next to Shirley. And then 3 seats down from there, the second from the right is Sally Beals. So of the 7 council members that served in 1994, 5 of them, one way or another, became mayor of the city of Centerville. At this time, as is tradition, I'm going to call up each of the council members and talk a little bit about their activities and their participation in the city. And we're going to start out with Councilman John Pulcher.
Get the oldest person first, okay? Or almost the oldest person. I'll tell you a little bit about my background and then just a little bit of what I do on council. I want to welcome everybody here this evening. It's good to see everybody here. And hopefully this will be a fruitful evening for you as far as information and learn a little bit about backgrounds you may not know or seen published in a paper yet. Okay, my background, educational background, I got a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration from Pittsburgh State University in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Now that's way down in the southeast part of the state, and if you don't know it, they're known for their Division II football power and their ONEIA power basketball days. So they got a number of national championships, and they're particularly good in swimming. In fact, they just had a big meet down in Pittsburgh for the NCAA track meet here last weekend, Friday night, last week. Married to Aurelia. Aurelia and I have been married for 23 years. And by a previous marriage, I have 2 children. I have Jennifer Ann, who graduated from Miami of Ohio, got a master's in journalism, University of North Carolina, and now she lives down in Chapel Hill, and she works for the University of North Carolina. Her and her husband, Garrett, and our granddaughter, one and only grandchild, Harper Lee. Got a son, Joe. Joe works for Waltech down in Walton, Kentucky. He has a multifaceted, many hats. He did the project management, he's a human resource. He hires, fires, he does purchasing, and his expertise is Japanese. He speaks it semi-fluently, and he works for a Japanese company now for about 14 years and is doing very well. I've been on council for 6 years. And I'm telling you, it's the most rewarding thing in my life the day that I got elected to this position. And I've been fortunate to serve with 2 great mayors, Mark Kingseed and Brooks Compton. They don't come any better, or do they have more love for the city? It's probably the most people in the city itself. It's great working with them. It's also great to work with the other 5 council members. And on top of that, we got the best staff in the city. We've had some turnover, but hopefully we'll come out through that with shining down the road. But between everything we've got going on here and the people we have working together, I think we'll accomplish whatever we need to. In particular, our 5-year strategic plan. I'm looking forward over the next number of years that I'm on council, working the implementation of that with the city staff and the other council members. You cannot work with any better people in the world than the present council that I work with. Everybody has a different, varied background. We're willing to work together. We're willing to bend when you need to bend and come up with team solutions for the city and keep the city viable as we can. A couple of things that I'm involved with. I'm liaison for the Arts Commission. Jim Collins chairs that and is doing a fine job. He's starting to serve his 2nd year. But they put together a lot of the social programs and other events going on throughout the year. Night at Stubbs Park. We've got a special event coming up over at the high school. out at St. Leonard's here sometime this spring. We publish everything. It's in the paper. Maureen's just did a great job to be working with here with it for the last 6 to 8 months. We're going to miss her. I'm liaison for the Board of Architectural Review, and Ed Ross heads that group up. And their primary responsibility is looking after the APD district in downtown Centerville and make sure the signs are right, things are painted, windows in, things refurbished, so it looks decent when you go downtown and you can be proud of. So they do a fine job for us throughout the year. I serve on the Centerville Community Improvement Corporation with other council members. I chair the Financial Long-Term Planning Committee, and I am fortunate to have Bill Sayre serving with me on that, and John Bill's over there, and we got our new controller that came in, and Tyler Rourke, he's involved with that, and our city manager, Wayne Davis, top-notch person, and great that he's been on now ever since August the 21st, going up 2 years this coming August. I'm also involved with I'm a liaison for the Community Reinvestment Area Housing Council. And Jim Gallagher chairs that committee. And they meet periodically, maybe 1 to 2 times a year. And this coming Wednesday will be the first time they met in a while. They do a great job for us if and when we have some involvement and give some opportunities to back new companies coming into the city. I look forward, again, to serving with the staff, city council, and the mayor, implementing the new software system that the staff have been working diligently on now for a long time. And hopefully that'll be up and running properly like it should be by the end of the year. And that strategic plan, working closely with the city manager and the staff and the other council members, we've got direction, and we got a damn good leader leading us, Brooks Compton. Thank you.
Mr. Engert, Mark Engert, one of our council members.
As I begin my 4th year on council, let me say what a wonderful learning experience this has been. I am a proud resident of Centerville, living in the Pleasant Hill neighborhood for the past 20 years. Currently, as council, I serve on the Centerville Washington History Committee, and I want to briefly touch on one of the city crown jewels, our Centerville City Schools. This past year, council has renewed our relationship with the schools. We as a council participated in Connect Centerville, where thousands of citizens showed up to welcome immigrant and new families and celebrate the district's diversity and share how it makes our community stronger. We also supported the school district and many other governmental agencies, including the township trustees, the park district, library employees, the sheriff and fire department, and many judges on a warm football Friday night, we came together to support the school's Centerville Safe Communities initiative. We as a council have welcomed students including Eagle Scouts, singers, golfers, and runners. And we as a council are continually amazed at the level of academic achievement and sheer talent that the school district produces, which is a testament to the dedication of our teachers and the hardworking students. As a council, we will continue working this relationship with our school partners to make Centerville the best it can be.
Before you leave today, get a chance to ask Mark about the basketball game the other night. He's kind of upset about those 2 technical fouls that were called. But this time, Councilwoman Joanne Rao.
All right. Well, for those of you who don't know me, this is also my 6th year on council. And previously, I was on the Planning Commission and a member of the Board of Architectural Review. My husband, wonderful husband, who's hiding behind over here, Steve and I have lived in Centerville for about 33 years. We raised 3 children here. All 3 children went through Centerville schools. And we also have 2 grandchildren. They are a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, 4-year-old boy and a 2-year-old girl. Unfortunately, none of them live nearby, so we miss them terribly and do a lot of FaceTime. I am an engineer and a environmental scientist. I retired from Dayton Power and Light just this last year after 11 years with the company. And with the company, I provided guidance for environmental regulations that were coming on board for the utility industry, as well as helped them with compliance issues. As a member of City Council, I serve on several committees and represent the city on other boards and commissions. This year and in 2018, I was the president of the Miami Valley, actually chair of the Miami Valley Communications Council. And in 2018, we began construction on a fiber optic broadband network that connects 7 of the cities in our community, including Centerville, Springboro, Miamisburg, West Carrollton, Moraine, Oakwood, and Kettering. This fiber optic ring will allow these cities to share information, including important safety information, police work, that sort of thing. Plus, it'll also lower our internet costs, and we can use that network for economic development. So that's a real positive for our community, and we're looking forward to the completion of that project, hopefully at the end of May. This year, also, the city launched an Architectural Preservation District visioning process. So the APD, as we call it, is, some people think of that as our downtown, just to give you an idea. And that visioning process included various members of the community, including businesses as well as residents and other members of the staff and volunteers. And we were all asked to come together to develop a vision for that district and also assist the city with coming up with goals and objectives for that vision. I was asked to represent the council on that visioning process. Hopefully that will be complete at the end of May. I also serve on the City Beautiful Commission, Planning Commission, and a few other committees. The City Beautiful Commission is probably best known for providing recognizing, maybe it's a better way to put it, recognizing businesses and residents within our community that just do an exceptional job on their beautiful landscaping. And they also provide some seminars and do a lighting display announcement as well and recognition. And then this year, it's kind of an unusual year. The City Beautiful is hosting the Arbor Days. Foundation has a Tree City USA program, and they're hosting that awards ceremony this year. And that award ceremony is for Southwest Ohio. 42 communities will be receiving recognitions, including Centerville. And Centerville has been Tree City for, correct me if I'm wrong, Mary Lou, 33 years? She's nodding yes. Mary Lou has been integral. She's been a liaison for the City Beautiful Commission, which is chaired by Sue Jessie. So thank you, Mary Lou. And I just wanted to say that that Centerville has been blessed with tremendous success throughout its 50-year history, but that's not accidental. It was due to the vision and the decisions made by our predecessors, our leaders, as well as our residents and our citizens. I'm honored to work alongside Mayor Compton, the members of City Council, City Manager Wayne Davis, and our dedicated staff. As members of City Council, we represent its 24,000 citizens, and we're tasked with making decisions that will ensure the community prospers for years to come, and I want to thank you for allowing me this opportunity to serve. Thank you.
Council Member Bill Sayre.
Good evening. I'm Bill Sayre. I'm beginning my 4th year as a member of the council. The first 2 years I filled the unexpired term of Brooks Compton when he became our mayor, and now I'm in the second year of an elected term. It has been a privilege to be in council, kind of a surprise to me late in life to finally embark upon somewhat of a political career, having majored in political science back at the Ohio State University many years ago. And it has been a surprise to me how joyous it is to be a member of the Centerville City Council. We are a very unified group. We're very close to each other. We don't all share the same views, but we all respect each other's views, and we're able to functionally arrive at consensus, which is an attribute much missing in much of our government today. So that has been, I think, the result of good work, and now in recent times we've come together around a strategic plan, which now gives some shape to the direction of the city based on some core values that we've agreed upon to guide the city. And this has brought about some changes in direction, and that has resulted in some changes of personnel, and we sometimes lose people that we really hate to see go, but we also gain people who add to the mix and are able to help us with our city manager, Wayne Davis, to move forward. And I think that with our strategic plan, we're seeing key initiatives and key movement in areas like technology and areas like economic development. And at the same time, we're able to continue the high level of services that are provided to our residents and that our residents have come to expect. And we've been able to increase those services, particularly in the area of public works, as a result of the generosity of the citizens of Centerville in passing an increase to our city income tax a few years ago. So we're moving forward. Progress and stability. I'm feeling very encouraged about all of our efforts, and I think you're going to experience, our citizens, a lot of changes in the coming years that are going to be very positive. I am actually beginning the third week of retirement from full-time employment after a 44-year professional career, 30 of which were spent at Graceworks Lutheran Services, including 24 of those years as the president and CEO. So I'm glad to still have more time to devote to this effort of the city. I've lived in the city of Centerville for 26 years, within Washington Township for 33 years, and in the south suburbs for 44 years. My wife, who is a graduate of Centerville High School, decided once we had kids that we had to move into the Centerville City School District. I formerly lived in Miami Township. So we have enjoyed the benefits for all three of our children of the Centerville schools, and it's been a great place to live. It's been a great place to work, and it's just a very positive environment. So thank you.
Mr. Beals.
Good evening, John Beals here. I am starting my 12th year on Centerville Council, and it's been a great ride so far. My wife Sally and I live out on the east side of Centerville, out off of Centerville Station Road, east of St. Leonard's, and we have lived out there in that neighborhood over 50 years. So we have seen a lot of change come to our community. We have 3 adult children who have gone through the Centerville schools, K through 12, and they have provided us 3 grandchildren. I am retired from my civil engineering practice, and something of a 50-year career in civil engineering. 9 years of it was with the Ohio Department of Transportation, and 40 years with my own engineering firm, LJB. And what we have found is that experience has worked so very, very well on council with the various projects that come in to us. Many of them deal with public works and civil engineering sorts of things, so it works out quite well. I serve the city on several committees, the Sister City Committee, the Committee for Washington Township, Centerville Rec Center, the Centerville Stormwater Review Committee, and then the Montgomery County the Regional Planning Commission. And I found out that if you attend the commission meetings for many, many years, why eventually they name you as chair. So this spring they voted me in. So, but the Mountain Valley Regional Planning Commission is a very important commission in our area. It looks over a 3-county area, Montgomery, Greene, and Miami counties. And it really is a focal point of the federal dollars that come into our area. And we want a very fair and equitable view of how those dollars are being spent across the valley. So each of the projects that are being brought forward, and believe me, we have many more projects than we have dollars, have to be reviewed by our TAC committee. And that's the Transportation Advisory Committee, and our Centerville representative to that is Doug Spittler. And Doug's committee then helps to review all those projects and decide which year they can be funded. Obviously, they're not all going to be funded in 1 year, and so many times it's spread out 4 and 5 years to get them all funded. So anyway, the committee also looks at the air quality in the area and also works with the water quality of the area. Considering the 50 years that Sally and I have been in the area, we have observed a lot of change. And when I think back into the early days, I think of our city as being a low-rise residential area, very modest amount of commercial enterprise, and as all of you know, in the last 10 and 15 years, well, that has changed pretty dramatically. We have lots of development, and I'm sure the mayor will speak to each of those developments that are going on, but it has really changed our city very dramatically with our hotels and our 2 major Kroger stores and so on and so forth. And it has impressed me with the importance of our planning commission, that our planning commission has to accept the ideas, you might say, of developers. Andrew takes care of that group, and the planning commission is so key to us making the best of the solutions. Obviously, we have zoning. But then when a developer comes in with their plans for what he'd like to do in that area, we have to work with them. And obviously we're a green city. We don't take lightly to sawing down trees and removing green spaces. And so if we try to work with that developer to come out with the best solution for the city, and if we lose trees and we lose green space, we try to add that in to their project to make it work out for the best of all concerned. Our recycling program is an excellent program, and we support it very fully too. Thank you.
Now, our Deputy Mayor, Belinda Kenley. Belinda.
Thank you, Mayor. It's really been an honor to serve the citizens of Centerville as a member of City Council since I took office in January 2008. I cannot believe how fast the years have gone by, as John mentioned. The past 3 years, I've been able to serve beside Mayor Compton as deputy mayor, and I really appreciate the vote of confidence that my fellow council members made in appointing me to that role. I also really enjoy working with the very professional staff that we have at our city, and I've been excited to meet so many new people who have joined the city. We're obviously a city where people want to come to work, and the high energy, dedicated professionals who've recently joined us have really brought a lot to the table, and I look forward to working with them for many years. I grew up in Oakwood and moved to Centerville about 35 years ago. When I was growing up, we would come to the Centerville Ox Roast, and I thought it was so far away. But we've lived here, and I raised my daughter in Centerville schools, and my husband Robert and I now live on Luntshire Court. We've owned several homes in the city and raised our daughter here. She became a teacher in Centerville schools for a while and then moved to the big city of Columbus, where she is currently also a teacher. I'm a Centerville graduate, and I'm really pleased that I'm a Sinclair graduate, and I've been so pleased to see the progress that Sinclair has made in opening a branch in our city. I think it will be a really wonderful thing for the students in our community and the surrounding area, and they will be a great partner to the city. My full-time job is with a company called Energy Optimizers USA. We do energy savings measures, including LED lighting, for schools and local government. And often during the week, I might be hard to catch in person because I'm on the road, but I'm always accessible by cell phone or email, and I encourage you to call me if you have any concerns or issues. I first learned about the value of working as a public servant when I worked for a number of years for Betty Montgomery, who was the Ohio Attorney General and Auditor of State. She really taught me a great deal about the importance of being a good steward of public dollars and public trust. And she also encouraged me to run when the opportunity opened up in 2007. In my spare time, I also am a community volunteer. I'm on the board of directors of Clothes That Work. I also serve on the Ohio Municipal League Board of Trustees and an organization called the Ohio Public Facilities Maintenance Association. As far as city committees, I am currently involved with several of them, including the Environmental Committee, Intergovernmental Relations, Neighborhood Relations, Streets and Highways. And then I'm the council liaison to the Dayton Development Coalition. I'm going to be going along with City Manager Wayne Davis to the Dayton Development Coalition fly-in on April 3rd as part of the coalition's annual effort to meet with key legislators on behalf of the cities, and it'll give us a great chance to also network with other city officials from around the region as well as key business leaders. One of the other roles I have with City Council is to serve as the chair of the Mayor's Business Advisory Task Force, along with Joanne Rao and John Beals, who are on this task force. And we've selected a group of about 8 to 10 business owners who get together with us periodically throughout the year. And we've had some great discussions about how we as a city can make it easier to do business in our city and smooth the path for those who want to open and operate businesses here. I'm very proud of all the businesses in our city, and I do my best on the weekends to support a lot of them, including our boutiques and restaurants, and I encourage you to shop local. We've got so many wonderful places right here in the city among the 700 businesses, and take the time to support those local businesses where you choose to spend your dollars. On May 15th, we'll have the Mayor's Annual Business Appreciation Breakfast at Yankee Trace, and I encourage the business owners or their representatives to attend this breakfast. It's a wonderful networking event, and we get the chance to share with our business owners all the activities in the city and to introduce some of our new staff to them. There will be an announcement in the town crier, or business owners can contact the city to register. I encourage you to connect with me on social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook, And then on the city website, you'll find my cell phone number as well. Feel free to let me know how I can help you. I hope to get the chance to serve another 4 years when I'm on the ballot again in November. And again, I just am so grateful for the chance to work with such a great community, citizens, business owners, and city staff, as well as my council members. Thank you.
Thank you, Belinda. As you can see, we have really a great council. Great people to work with. I've heard a couple comments tonight. We enjoy each other while we're there working together, and we definitely do. We get a lot done in our council meetings, and they're a great group to work with, and I'd like if we could give them a round of applause. They really do a tremendous job, so thanks very much. Get the opportunity to wrap up what was discussed by the other 6 council members. And so as we go forward, what do we have in store for Centerville in 2019? And when I say we, I mean Centerville Public Works, the Centerville Police Department, Yankee Trace, Benham's Grove, Finance, Planning, HR, Building Inspection and Maintenance, Community Resource Office, Clerk of Council, Reception, City Management, support staff, the staff here at the City Building, and City Council. So at this time, I'd just like to take just a couple minutes and go over some of the new faces in the we here at Centerville. Wayne Davis has been here for 18 months. He's no longer a new face, but a face that we enjoy having an opportunity to talk with and meet with. He has brought and added to the city hardworking and high-quality staff members. Mariah Vogelsgang, on the left, is our Assistant City Manager. She came on board just about 6 months ago, even though it seems longer than that, and every time I introduce Mariah, I usually say she's been here a year or so, but she's been here about 6 months. She's been getting things done from day one. She is a tremendous asset to the team, and she is great to work with. On the right is Holly Chrisman. She's our new Economic Development Director, and she also joined the city about 6 months ago. She has absolutely jump-started our Economic Development Office and our efforts here in the city. The business and overall community has been so impressed with the enthusiasm that Holly has brought to the job and the results that we definitely are seeing. Tyler York, up in the top left-hand corner there. He is our new Finance Director. He started the first of the year right when we were entering into replacing our antiquated financial system with an ERP, which most of us, I had to look it up again today to remember what it meant, but it means Enterprise Resource Planning. Tyler, you're doing a great job. We thank you for coming here from Hamilton to start here in the City of Centerville. We look forward to seeing you as our Finance Director for many years. In the right-hand corner is Jenna Whipp. Jenna is our new Assistant Finance Director. She is a CPA also, and she helps round out what really is a great finance department. Jenna, thank you for being here. Chief of Police Matt Brown. Last year at this time, the Chief was the interim Chief of Police. He is now the Chief of Police. He has brought with him a leadership team with Lieutenant Levine, Lieutenant Wilson, Lieutenant Yoder, along with new officers to an already outstanding police department. Laura Filicetta. She has just started in the Community Resource Office as the City Events Coordinator. She's at the bottom right hand is from our Building Inspection and HR Department, but Laura started and she has already made some suggestions, and I know we look forward to hearing many of her suggestions over the years that we look forward to having her work as our events coordinator in the Community Resource Office. That's our Clerk of Council on the left, Karen Andrews. She's been here a few years. On the right is Terry Davis. Terry started as our Assistant Clerk of Council. She has provided absolutely necessary assistance and professionalism in that office from day one. Centerville has had in the past, has today, and will have tomorrow outstanding employees of the we in the City of Centerville. Centerville has an outstanding police department. Now, we have the finest police department around, which has the respect and the support of Centerville citizens. first responder training for every police officer, national accreditation, 24-hour emergency dispatch in Centerville, and a large and important presence in the schools. Mark keeps very close track of that as our council member. His wife is a teacher in the schools also. Centerville residents know that they can depend on the Centerville Police Department. This was when a number of new officers were presented and leadership staff from the police department. Anyone knows that's the way our police department is received here in the city of Centerville. They do a tremendous job. This is our finance department, some of the finance department, and they are absolutely top-notch. I can tell you, get a chance to go in that office probably more than any other office in Karen's or Wayne's, and it is always a pleasure to come into that office. They are a critically important department for the city of Centerville, and they do great work day in and day out. And the contact that we have through our businesses, through the city, indicate that they get professional service every time they make contact with them. So finance department, you're doing a great job. And just in case you wonder why I like to come into that department, that's why. They have a good time in that department. Andrew Rodney, Mark Andrick in planning department. They do a professional job. They're very creative, very thorough. And there are times on occasion that the city council kind of drives Andrew and Mark crazy with some of the things that we request and some of the actions we take. But Andrew and Mark, we appreciate your professionalism and the creativity that you bring to our council and to the city. Sam Brunson, I see him every Thursday here working in the city building. He does a tremendous job of taking care of the offices and what the city building, and keeps it in great shape all the time. That is our Public Works Director on TV. That's Doug Spittler. I think he was being photographed for Channel 7 or something. I'm not exactly certain, but our Centerville Public Works with Doug Spittler as our Public Works Director and Jim Brinegar as the city engineer have had really busy years in 17 and 18, and 19 will be no different. The city's commitment to infrastructure and its road and annual street and sidewalk repair programs is well managed by Jim and by Doug. Our citizens are seeing the results of their efforts and are appreciative of all you do throughout the year, from trash pickup to maintaining the streets during the winter months to the no longer occasional windstorms, leaving our streets and yards littered with tons of debris. You do a great job. I can tell you the county really respects what the Centerville Public Works does also, because we're in the process of being awarded a grant on the recycling for the city of Centerville through the Public Works Department. These are some of the guys in Public Works doing work in front of the city building. That's part of our recycling program. This is the Public Works staff. And that is the pocket park there at the southeast corner of AB and 48. And that was designed and put together by Centerville Public Works. They did that themselves. And Doug, I think, and Jim turned it over to them, so great work. That was very well received. Then I'm going to recognize Mary Lou Pence. Mary Lou's been at the city for 30 years, almost 30 years. She's retiring this summer. She has had her hand in every significant project for the last 30 years, and Mary Lou, you've done a tremendous job, and I know you're looking forward to retirement. We are not looking forward to your retirement. But thanks for all you've done for the city over all these years. I want to mention our Clerk of Council. This is part of who we, Centerville, is. Karen Andrews, she came to us about a little bit more than 3 years ago, and she has made a positive outlook and efficiency a trademark of her 3 years here as Centerville Clerk. She's done a tremendous job. We are so fortunate that she applied for, and we had the good sense to hire Karen as the Clerk of Council. She's done a great job. Karen added Terry Davis, who is also, as I mentioned, a great addition to the clerk's office and works also with the planning department. Randy Bishop at Benham's and the staff at Benham's Grove. Randy's bringing ideas to the city staff and the city council and suggestions for keeping Benham's Grove on top. Those are essential for the advancement of this great city asset. John Beals, wife Sally Beals, was instrumental in bringing Benham's Grove, and I know that she is pleased every day that she gets an opportunity to drive by and see the great facility that is. And Randy and staff, you're doing a great job there. You can't have a city and a big organization without having HR, building inspection, and building maintenance. Has Sangeeta, Dan, and Margot work down on the first floor there, kind of enter from the back of the building. Sangeeta is now a full-time employee in the HR department. We really appreciate their efforts and the people that get hired, the personnel backgrounds that they undertake, and the results with building inspection and maintenance. That's a critical part of an aging city, is to have proper maintenance and building inspection for those new things that are coming on board. Scott Lieberman. I don't have a picture of Scott, but Scott has been our law director for many years, and he has vast knowledge of the significant developments that have taken place over the many years. He has served in that role, and he has done a great job as our city councilor or our city attorney over those years. Scott, thank you for all you've done for these many years. Holly Bricker, who is assistant to the city manager, as his assistant upstairs, and she works with Mariah also. She didn't want to have her picture taken today, so she's a private person, but we appreciate all the hard work that she does for the city and for Wayne and Mariah. This is mostly staff out at Yankee Trace. That's head golf pro Stephen Marino. Terry Taylor's not in that picture, but they really have taken Yankee Trace to a new level of excellence, and we are excited, as is the community, about the new projects that they're bringing out there and the ideas that they're bringing to Yankee Trace. That's just, I think that picture was posted as characters, I think, was how that got put up on the website. But they do a great, that's Matt and Steve, who are golf pros at Yankee Trace. Jason, who is the director of food and beverages at Yankee Trace, plus the whole staff at Yankee Trace. That's hard work running a restaurant and a banquet facility. They do a great job of it. Yankee Trace is the place to be for receptions, parties, etc. And I tell you, it wouldn't be without the effort that they do, and the hours they keep are incredible. They do a tremendous job out there. So we appreciate all that you do, Jason, at running the banquet part and then the restaurant part of that. Also don't have a picture of Scott Onches. He's our IT manager, and he has a big task in front of him. We have a lot of IT to get caught up on and get some done within the city of Centerville, and I know he's working hard with Mariah to get that in order and keep our IT where it needs to be and bring it up to speed. You know, Centerville has a great strength at its employees. That's what I'm referring to as we. They are the Centerville that we bring into 2019. So what do we, the 150 plus of us that work for Centerville and those of us on council, we all have different roles. What is our mission? Well, our mission is that the city of Centerville delivers exceptional services through thoughtful governance to ensure progress and stability. And we also have, as the 150 plus people working for the city of Centerville, we also have a vision. And that vision is that Centerville is a thriving, financially sound, diverse city which values community, economic growth, and education, and is a community inspired by its own sense of history, stability, and progress. And we also, as employees and members of council, we advance our core values: accountability, community, economic growth, education, integrity, leadership, and responsiveness. We have mission, we have vision, we have core values. Every organization now with the mission, vision, and values needs to have a way to measure what needs to get done, who is responsible for it, and what is getting done, allowing them all to follow the mission, vision, and values. So now that we have that plan, so now that we have that in front of us, the plan is the 5-year strategic plan. So starting in October of 2017, city management, city staff, and council worked on the 5-year strategic plan, which was finalized with its passage in June of 2018. We have 6 goal areas of strategic plan. And this is worth taking a look at the plan. It's the type of thing that council and staff like to read. Maybe the general public doesn't get near as excited about it as we do, but we broke it into 6 goals. Economic development, which is promoting a city of neighborhoods and businesses that will thrive and continue to thrive. Planning, proactive strategic land use policy. Andrew has been absolutely bringing things. Like one of our retreats, I think he brought forward about 35 or so different opportunities where we should be looking at, should we rezone, how should we take care of these particular properties that are vacant or infill sites. Finance. Create a strong and sustainable financial foundation using taxpayer dollars, which they have generously given to us in the levy which passed in 2016, in the most efficient and responsible manner. Finance is there working with Wayne to do that. Housing and infrastructure. Assess the city's infrastructure and housing options and need for neighborhood and infrastructure improvements. The city cannot stay stagnant. We'll fall behind if we don't recognize that we must constantly be working on our infrastructure, looking at our neighborhoods to make sure we're staying on top and being the place that people want to locate. Core services, providing quality and valuable core services to our residents, businesses, and visitors, consistent with the culture of recognizing that each is our customer and each is entitled to quality treatment. That's from how you pick up the trash to how you treat the streets when you repair them and fix the potholes and how you're treated by the police department. Our technology, modernize our technological infrastructure to improve the operations of the city and make for better communication with our stakeholders, the residents of our city, and those who do business with the city. We are improving that and working on our IT right now. ERP is part of that. So we're pleased to have this guiding document in place. It is not something that's put on the shelf and not looked at again. It is out there every day being used to keep the city moving forward. It will guide the city's efforts for years to come. So I want to mention as a council that we are pleased with the 5-year strategic plan. The outstanding staff hires and the appointments, the budgeting approaches for the city, and the constant outreach to the community, our community partners, and the other governmental entities you interact with in a positive and productive way, Wayne. So we appreciate that. So I'm just going to say just a little bit about my family. We moved here 40 years ago with my wife, Ruth, who's here in the audience, for her 4th state of the city, I think, or many more. But we came to Centerville in 1979. We've been married for 41 years. And in 1984, we moved into Rose Estates, and we're still there. Like other council members, we've been fortunate to have our children. We had 2 boys, and we raised our family entirely in Centerville. They received a first-class education through the Centerville schools. One son, Brett, went off to North Carolina following his career path. Our older son, Chris, and our daughter-in-law, Jamie, live here in Centerville. They pursue their careers here with our now twin 7-year-old granddaughters who attend Primary Village North and our 2.5-year-old grandson who attends the Jewish preschool in Centerville and had the opportunity to be tutored during last summer's traumatic event of starting camp with Scott's daughter. So we appreciate Scott for getting Kit through that first traumatic couple weeks. But it is a tribute to those who have worked for the city in the past and still today that almost all of your council members raised their families here in Centerville. All of their children attended City of Centerville schools, visited the library, played in our parks, got safety training from the Centerville Police Department, Safetyville Square, and CPR training from the Washington Township Fire Department. So all of us who work for the city and your council know that the quality of life known to Centerville is not accomplished solely by we, the 150 who work for the city of Centerville. We need great partners, and we have them. Our citizens, through the CIVIC, and the many volunteers who serve on Centerville boards and commissions help the city out every day with very little or no public recognition. Maureen has been in charge of that for many years and created a great program. Thank you, volunteers and board members, for all that you do, and Maureen for keeping that a top-notch program. Those are just a couple of the civic events. That's Art at the Trace. That was when Mr. McLaughlin received the Volunteer of the Year award last year. And this was Arbor Day with the City Beautiful Commission. They do a great job of organizing. That's a fun event every year. That was over at Stubbs Park, and all those kids get a chance to plant trees. It's just a lot of fun. We also have the Centerville schools. Tom Henderson and the school board, great job of putting out an educational system for our Centerville students. We know that Centerville school system is crucial to people making a decision as to where they're going to live. We support the schools, we interact with the schools, that's very important. Centerville Washington Park District, Arnie Biondo's done a great job. They get better every year, and that's another high-quality element for the city of Centerville. You've all seen this building, the new Washington Centerville Library. Kim Ferris and the library board worked hard to make this happen for the city of Centerville, and it is an outstanding facility for the city. They bring a lot of programs, many varied, useful programs to our residents, and we're proud of that facility. There isn't anybody who's not proud of that facility when you drive by that at night. It is absolutely beautiful. We have a good, solid relationship with the Washington Township Fire Department. They're a critical safety service for our community, for the city and the township. Chief Gall is retiring. He's done a great job, and now a Centerville, longtime Centerville boy, Chief Scott Kujawa will be the same as the chief. They're in the process of converting to a full-time fire and EMS department. They've got a levy on the ballot in May. I think it's definitely worth taking a look at that as it deserves your support. I brought this picture up because this came from the 50th anniversary. This is Centerville, Washington history with Steve Feverston and Vicki Bondi. All of them do a great job of keeping things historically grounded for the city of Centerville and those who live here. They did a great job with the celebration. So I'm going to move along here. What's ahead for Centerville for 2019? Continued implementation of the strategic plan. We also are going to have over $5 million of investment in the city street and sidewalk repair and replacement program with bike and pedestrian way improvements. We talked tonight at our council about Centerville Bikeway running from east to west throughout the city. You'll see new signs up for route number 12. That's the indication. When our voters approved in 2016, we spent $2.65 on infrastructure improvements, and 19 we'll be spending over $5 million. 2019 will see another expansion of the Miami Valley Hospital South Campus with the Ohio Hospice to join the Spine and Joint Center of Excellence. Graceworks, Crescent Crossing opened just recently. That's a $42 million expansion and improvement of senior services with the Centerville campus at Bethany Lutheran Village. Cornerstone, a lot of activity out there. Top quality restaurant, Cooper's Hawk, will be joining the newly completed Hilton Home to Suites by Hilton, along with work on the interior roadway and a lot of discussion on how we address and movement forward on the park. I just wanted, that's a little bit of the development. That's the north parcel alone. If you can see Costco in there, that kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. There's proposals out there for the far right, the green part, and Cooper's Hawk is the black right by the pond there in the middle. I wanted to mention just briefly, along the top of that slide is Brown Road. And if you've gone by Brown Road in Wilmington Pike, that's a joint project with Greene County, Sugar Creek Township, and Centerville that was put together, again, by Doug and Jim. And we can thank the Greene County engineer, Bob Geyer, for his work in getting that project through the state of Ohio. That's really going to be a nice project for that development and for the city of Centerville. We also have the completion of Randall Residence, which is out the corner of Paragon, Social Row, and Sheehan. That's a senior facility, but it's going to have about 68 single-family houses on the north portion of that. We have single-family developments coming along in the Yankee Trace area. The Grove and the Woodlands, they are along Paragon Road. They'll add about 100 single-family units. And this is Savannah Place, which is off of Yankee Street and is part of the Yankee Trace development. This brings new single-family housing options to the city of Centerville. 2019 will also see the opening of the Allure and possibly the Loft, but the Allure will definitely open. And that's going to add, again, upscale multifamily developments to the city, which we have not added any for many, many years. And council is also supportive of the APD district, Architectural Preservation District. A lot of people don't understand that name. We're talking about that name. It's an historical business area. It's a major discussion point in our strategic plan. And Joanne Rao is heading up along with Holly and Mariah, the visioning committee for the APD district, and as Joanne said, we'll have a great report and suggestions coming out in May. So Joanne and Holly and Mariah, thanks very much for heading that up. We do a television program, and that happened to be in Lorelei's to support the business through Centerville Business Today. Also, Joanne Rao, like herding cats as the head of the Miami Valley Communications Council, was to be able to get all the cities to go along with this project. and got it done. I know there's a lot of effort by the city managers and Joanne and our new director over there to get it all done, but this is the fiber optic network, and this is an exciting project. This is a project that I know from Holly's perspective at economic development, we can't do without it. I mean, we need to be competitive in this area to have the high-speed internet that's available. This will be an economic development tool and help businesses to locate here, knowing that we have that in place, and it's going to be done by September, I believe, so, or sometime during the summer. Well, maybe not, but but pretty close. Okay, maybe May, but we're very excited about that. We are particularly excited about this, the Centerville College campus. That is an outstanding addition to our city. We're very fortunate to have that. We also talked a little bit about our ERP, which is our Enterprise Resource Planning. That's the training that they're doing down there to bring the city up to speed with respect to what we need for communications tools within the city of Centerville. That's going to lead to better communication between our departments and the citizens in the city of Centerville. We also have, at Yankee Trace, we have some new and exciting additions out there. One is the golf simulators. If you haven't had a chance to do that, it's a lot of fun, and it's been very, very successful. Spring is almost here, and you're also going to get a chance to see the new advanced golf carts that Yankee Trace is bringing. Plus, Scott Anches has brought Wi-Fi to Yankee Trace, so that's we are very pleased about that. The summer concert series will take place. Again, the Arts Commission does a great job with that. And we also, I want to mention that we've been selected to be by the county, because of the success of our recycling program, to be a test recycling program from an educational standpoint, which the council has endorsed unanimously, and Montgomery County is very enthusiastic about that, that we will be going to our citizens to educate them about the right way to recycle. We do a great job already recycling. Now we need to refine it a little bit in light of the change in the markets throughout the world. In 2019, we'll see Centerville Council members being leaders and reaching out to other communities, recognizing when we work together on projects and not as competitors, we will all be more successful. Belinda Kenley serves on the board of the Ohio Municipal League. Joanne serves as the chair of the MVCC and chairs the APD Visioning Committee with staff. Mark Engert has his ear to the ground in all aspects of the community, particularly with respect to the schools, and is very, very helpful, and serves as liaison to Bikeway. John Beals is the chair of the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission, and although he said he got there strictly by being there length of time, he got there by experience and all that he brings to that commission. We are very fortunate to have the president of the Miami Valley Regional Commission as a member of our council. John Palcher plays a huge part in the success of our Arts Commission and part of the Community Reinvestment Act, part of Finance Committee, very important. And Bill Sayre is the vice chair of the First Dayton Suburbs, in addition to playing a significant part in community activities around the city. And I've been asked to serve as the vice chair of the Solid Waste Advisory Committee, and I'm very pleased to do that. Wayne has been the chair of the Ohio City Managers Association, Council and City Managers Association for many years, and I think his term is up now. And finally, I want to mention one thing we are not doing this year. We will not be paying off any debt for Yankee Trace because the note was paid off in full in 2018. This $266 million development was paid off several years early, raises over $7.8 million for public services, with over $4.4 million of that going to the schools, City of Centerville schools. So I just want to mention, as a member of the Centerville City Council and now as mayor, I see and often have an opportunity to work with great people at this city building and the elected council members who are dedicated to the City of Centerville. The thoughtfulness and professionalism that each council member and what they bring to their role is outstanding. Our deliberations of issues are addressed fairly and completely. As indicated, we don't always agree. We occasionally have a split vote, but we do move forward with all of us acting as a body and supporting that decision. It's a privilege to work with this staff, the 150 all of us have as part of the City of Centerville, all of us that serve as we for the City of Centerville. This is part of the 150. I think this was part of a high-performance organization session that they participated in. That's part of the 150 here in Centerville. So as we start our 51st year, we owe a great deal to the thousands of citizens and city employees who guided our city along this remarkable journey to this date. Those who organized our schools, our park district, our library, and provided safety services to the growing community, and of course those in our community who volunteered on city boards and commission and as elected officials have been indispensable to Centerville's success. We thank you. This is our current council in more of a relaxed setting, but we as the 150 that work for the city of Centerville, as council members, as employees, we need to keep it going for those people, our future leaders for the city of Centerville. They're great. They love coming here. They really appreciate the opportunity to be here in the city, and we know that ultimately that's who we're really working for, is them. So I know I speak from all of us on council, that as council members and as the mayor, we are humbled to be elected by our neighbors, our friends, and fellow Centerville residents to represent them. And I also know, I speak on behalf of all the council members, that we are honored to work with all of you at the city, all 150 plus of you of the city who are every day committed to keeping Centerville the place to be and a place to work for those kids in the future of Centerville. Thank you all for your support. You're great to work with. May God bless Centerville, the United States of America. Thank you very much for being here today. Thank you.